And it is now sad soup season on the podcast. It came fast. I don't know about the rest of you, but welcome to OPA Podcast, everybody. We're sad. I'm sad soup.
Sad Opes only. I'm Wyatt, and I'm also sad.
I'm Griffin, and I'm sad I paid so much money to go see them lose.
And it's Jason coming in from Tokyo.
Yeah, Jason's so sad he's got to let his feelings out from Tokyo, so he's on the podcast.
Big sad.
Jason screaming from the Tokyo rooftops.
I will say, my girlfriend gave the bombastic side eye while I'm trying to watch the game in the hotel and in the train. So, not so great looks.
It's called loyalty. But, you know.
That's a green flag for you, Jason.
Loyalty. I would say loyalty. So, we all know what happened. We all know why we're here. We got to talk about what happened on Saturday. The Gophers going down in North Carolina, 31-13. Griffin, how much fun was it to watch?
It was absolutely painful. Only thing that made it a little better was being around your own fans in a big group.
So they traveled well, which we all knew would happen, which is, just great to hear confirmed, though.
They were sad, but they were sad together.
We were sad in numbers.
Well, I was at New Bohemia in St. Paul with my dad, my buddy Xander, Elaine, and his girlfriend Anna, and we at least had a nice time. So, with that being said, I guess let's just let's get right into it. Starting out on offense, weird day, I'll say. That's kind of what I'll start with. Is what a weird day.
I think it's very telling of just the inexperience on our offense. Although there were, experienced players making mistakes as well, but it's very telling of how much growth Ethan has to do, and how much room for growth there is just all around the offense. And also, the coaching staff has some serious room to grow. The play calling has some serious room to grow.
The fundamentals are the place they really have to grow. You can't keep any pass that Ethan makes. If it's in your area, you got to catch the ball. You got to pull it down.
You got to stay on your feet, at least.
Stay on your feet.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just watched the game back while I was sitting here, like getting everything set up and getting ready, and I think after kind of stepping back from it a bit, I have less of an issue with the play calling than I did in a moment, and more of an issue with like the just the overall, like, Ethan doesn't look comfortable in what is being called, and when they call stuff that he's comfortable with, like, he looks very fluid. He looks like very comfortable, but it's not consistent enough for them to really string anything together.
What, do we only have like one RPO slant, which our offense was known for like the last, how many seasons now? Like 6-7 seasons under PJ.
Yeah, and then when they run those, when they run those, they look comfortable and they execute those. But right now we're like focused on so much like outside of the numbers stuff, and that's a tough throw. And right now I think partially it's because like Ethan really only wants to throw the ball hard right now, so he hasn't developed like any of their clubs yet, Yeah. So
it's all driver.
Yeah. which we can work with, but like I'm more concerned with like that aspect that like he still doesn't look like he like last year we kind of like didn't really expect much finesse from his game. This year I think you wanted to see some of it as the game started at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And so my question, I guess, is more with like the like Greg Harbaugh the as his coach on like a week to week basis, other than the play calling. Like I think the play calling going back, like I said, like it felt a little better, kind of just watching it and trying to be objective about what they were trying to do. But I think it's more of just the fact that like they're still making so many of these like really fundamental mistakes, and Ethan just is not really taking any steps forward, which is fine. But like, which is like, it's not fine right now, but like we expected more, I think, from the like play caller QB coach at this point.
Yeah.
I think it's still fair though to question some of the play calls that were made throughout the game. Maybe like throughout the entire game. Sure, it might have been fine, but there were some times, when you have your backup QB in and you're thinking, why are we going to launch this 30 yards to the end zone when they've probably had very limited reps
Yeah.
on running this route? Like that ball was thrown at least 5 yards in front of him, and he had to like turn his body towards the sidelines, and he still wasn't even close to the football.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I think like as a whole, like the plan made a lot of sense, but situationally I think they were very bad. And I think we can also like talk about the decision to punt on fourth down. I think in the fourth quarter is what like that was when I knew the game was over. I was like, oh, they've just given up. Like they're why in the world would you punt here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%.
Like you don't think your team can get like 2 yards or whatever? Like I don't know. Like I feel bad for Jason having to watch this in Japan. Like I felt bad for you.
It pissed me off the most. I think here's my rant finally coming out. Mind you, I just woke up like 45 minutes ago, so
Hell yeah.
Had to give it some thought. But I will say to all of our listeners and viewers, our good old friend LeRons did hop on to the Snapchat on our group chat after a long hiatus. Just to, it's bad when LeRon has to hop on to the group chat.
Hop in to express
about a
his
game.
frustration.
Yeah, that's how bad it was.
Yeah. But first of all, I will say we did have. I do agree with you, Soup, that we did have expectations for Ethan, but it was for the right ones because we weren't expecting much of him. We were expecting not a Tanner-esque 2019 season, but at least like a step up from where he was
Absolutely.
at the end of
Absolutely.
Syracuse. And we did not see that on display. The offense and the play count did not give him any easy throws. And then I don't know why you would pull Darius Taylor, who is pretty much our running back one, because Sean Tyler's kind of in the doghouse with his fumbling, and he really isn't getting anywhere with the style of
Sean
offense
Tyler
TJ
should be like a change of pace back. He should be like a change of pace back.
So actually, I looked into this just a little bit, and it turns out that Ethan wasn't the only one who was experiencing cramps during the game. Taylor had them too, and a couple of other players as well. So maybe there's a hydration problem also on that sideline.
Got to bring out the Tom Herman hydration chart.
But thank you for correcting there, Wyatt. But yes, problems with either be if it's hydration or what's going on the sideline pre and during the game. But I was like, Soup, you complain about it. Why the hell are we pulling him out on a 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3 when we know with this kind of offensive line that DT can get those yards?
Yeah,
easy.
that and like you kind of showing tendencies. When Sean Tyler is out there, he's not out there to do anything but catch a pass.
Mm-hmm. But I think this is still the offense because I think we all know we're going to be more pass happy with Ethan because he has the arm and the talent. But I think we've been straying away from what we've been doing. So we should lead with DT as RB1, like classic Mo style, like right now because your pair is right now DT and Sean Tyler, and in your spare is Bryce Williams, and I heard he is injured.
Bryce
could be
Bryce
wrong.
Williams shouldn't even be your spare.
I
Bryce
know.
Williams should be part of that starting rotation.
Yeah.
And once he's
Meh.
healthy, he will be.
Meh.
I think
It's
Bryce
Darius
Williams
Taylor's
is,
time, baby.
Like, it's definitely Darius Taylor's time. I'm not going to dispute that. But if you're going to, bring someone in to spell him, it should be Bryce Williams. Because,
Yeah.
Sean Tyler's getting sent out to catch a pass.
If they should use him as like a gadget player more than just a running back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's Sean Tyler's fairly good in that role. I like him in that role. I don't mind him on special teams.
I think he's good on special teams. I think he's good.
I
He's a good
don't-
kick returner.
I don't think he runs that. He's not a pure runner.
He's got like 3
And-
kick return touchdowns in his like
Yeah.
Western Michigan career.
I love Sean Tyler for that kind of role, the
Yeah.
gadget role.
Exactly.
But I don't love him as a pure runner.
No.
And you're gonna give him some touches probably just to, keep the defense guessing. But
I think as in general, I think right now this what this offense needs to be a little bit more simpler, kind of like revamp, kind of like when I'm going back to old times, but when we fired Rob Smith into was it year 2, partway through, was that after the Illinois blowout,
Mm-hmm.
where when PJ went to Joe Rossi simplified things better so the defense can be more explosive and fast. I don't know if we need to terminate someone on the staff to make that happen, but I just need more creativity and simplicity because I feel like we're running too many things outside of the normal offense which we run, which is mainly RPO slants, and bootlegs, and essentially passing plays that is opened up by the run game. But also, it doesn't help when we have miscues on the offense, like receivers not catching balls, Ethan getting pressure or under overthrowing, and then the dumb drive where like we had Cole Kramer in, which I thought he'd be in as Wildcat, and turns out he threw a ball 30 plus yards down the field to try to get a touchdown and got picked off. So I'm very disappointed about the offense, as you can tell.
Absolutely.
About being overseas here.
I think PJ was too. In his post game, he was like very, very upfront about like, oh, we left a lot out there, and I think it's, I think he's mainly saying like our quarterback play needs to be better, and I think that's Greg Harbaugh is the quarterback coach, and I think their response to the teams playing the run against them back when they were really good and efficient was the RPO. It was more of the RPO game, and they ran some of that, but I don't think that they ran it enough in key situations. Like, I think situationally they are still far too conservative.
it just all feels very uninteresting to me.
Well, PJ said like that, Darius, like we can't just like hand the ball off in front of like in the goal in like the 5 yards to go situation anymore, because like Mo Ibrahim would just run that in like 3 tries. Darius Taylor isn't going to do that yet. And I'm like, yeah, but this doesn't mean you don't try it like at all. You know what I mean? They like take him out on 3rd and 2 inside the 10. It's like, what are he converts the 3rd down for you. On 1st down you throw, and you don't even think about giving him the ball on 2nd down. I don't know.
I think part of that too, though, is with our offensive line, we're not always winning the line of scrimmage. So it's like we know Darius Taylor can make those plays, but he's not going to make it without the support of his offensive line.
Sure.
Like he needs some sort of push, because I look at it the same way as the Vikings too, right? It's like they're going to try and hand it to Madison, and he's going to actually lose 2 yards because they already pushed the pocket back so deep because they know they don't have the better personnel.
Yeah. I think it's just there's just a lot of like execution issues right now, and I think it kind of falls kind of everywhere, and I think they just kind of have to tighten up. Like the thing is like there's spurts where it looks good. Like going into halftime, coming out of halftime, they look great. You know, the beginning of the game, they look great. But it's like when you have to, like, kind of move on the fly and everybody kind of has to, like, you know, get into that groove together. And I think it's a lot of, like, new pieces this year. It's just taking some time. And I think the reason this game, it feels so bad is because they were in this game. Like, North Carolina's the number 20th ranked team in the nation. They're a good football team. They have a really, really good quarterback. But, like, you were in this game for, like, 90% of the game.
In this game, and there's some things to take away and be proud of from this game.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah,
Look,
Jack
look at the
Henderson
run
will get to
defense.
you. Jack Henderson will get to you, too.
But
I mean,
yeah,
I'd say a big positive is Ethan converting first downs on his legs. Like when he sees all that space, I loved when he absolutely just got after the first down line. He's like, I'm just going to take this myself. Like that was
Yeah.
great to see that.
I think
And
his decision making was really good. Like, I think he was making good decisions. I just think
Mhm.
he was inaccurate with the football for a lot of it. And then when he was accurate, like, somebody would slip or, like, it would clank off of somebody's hands. You know, it was just, like, never everything lining up to, like, execute that play.
100%. Yeah, 100%. This game was closer than the score showed,
It was.
but I don't want to let the defense get off either because in the opening 2 quarters they gave up 6 out of their 8 third downs or something. It was just ridiculous. And
Oh.
these
yeah,
weren't
the defense didn't have a perfect game, but I think there's some pros and then there's some obvious cons.
Yeah, I think
I think
we can get to the defense in a second, but I mean, since you brought up third downs, let's talk about that because that was something I really wanted to make sure we pointed out because they were just awful on third down. I'm trying to find the percentage here on the fly really quick, but I mean they were bad. I think it was
4 for 17.
Yeah, it was like 3 for 12 or like something just like gross, like that.
Yeah, it's really
very
ugly.
uncharacteristic of the Joe Rossi defense, honestly.
Of the offense.
third
Yeah,
down.
we're still on
Probably-
offense. Yeah, it's
my
okay.
bad.
It's a far away.
The
It's
defense
okay.
was worse than they normally are too, but
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad.
No. I don't know. It was like 3 for 12 or something like that. It was bad. And I think that's what we're talking about with, like, situationally, they're just not executing. It's like there's something always going wrong. They're always stumbling. They're always tripping over something. And it's got to stop, you know? Like, it's just not going to cut it when you start playing, you know, teams like North Carolina or better. And also, I just, I don't know. I want to see the same, like, confidence of just, like, letting Ethan rip these balls outside of the numbers, but, like, over the middle in the end zone area. Like, I think that's where they're missing out on a lot of easy touchdowns there, but we'll see.
I wonder if they're afraid of him throwing it into an area with a lot of defenders.
Yeah, I
And
mean, they
that's why
absolutely
they're
are.
not
'Cause
challenging the middle.
every ball that tips off of one of our receivers' hands ends up in a pick, so they totally are. But
Well, yeah, I mean, he's thrown 3 interceptions, and 2 of them have come off the hands of Brevin Spanford.
it's tough.
It's tough. It's
like,
tough when you're young.
The one
and that
this game,
mistake isn't even really your fault.
yeah, and the one this game is like, you know, it's the throw is way behind Brevin too, so it's like, you know, these small things that add up and just like create this really, really bad play for you.
And really, there's an argument to be made that he should have more picks on the year. He threw probably half a dozen balls that could have been picked off this past game, at least.
Maybe. I feel like part of it was skewed because receivers would just fall down and then DBs would just like have a shot at the ball.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's just like it just needs to get better at this point. Like, this is ridiculous, you know?
No, I get it.
100%. And I mean, I mean, PJ's welcome to play the style of ball that he wants, but he knows too that if you make too many mistakes, you're not gonna be in this game much longer. So he's, I think, got to accept that he needs to change a little bit more too. It's like you can ground and pound, but once you hit, those 2-3 turnover mark, you're gonna end up probably losing those close games.
Yeah, but it'll be really interesting to see if they like shy away from throwing it again. I personally don't think they will. I think they'll use this next game to throw the ball, to like try and figure out the passing game like they did against Eastern Michigan with the running game. But I think my hope at least is that it'll be like a little more balanced than that, right? So that you're really trying to run like your true offense, because at this point I don't think like you're hiding your identity from anyone.
I mean, balanced and also I think just simplified. I mean, I'm not trying to say take Northwestern lightly by any means, because you never want to do that to an
but
opponent.
like run the stuff you're good at.
Right. It's like they know it doesn't matter what we run. They know we have those in our playbook, and it's always going to be a possibility. So just simplify the offense for now. Make the throws, build Ethan's confidence, build the receiver's confidence. Then you can maybe start throwing the ball 20 plus yards down the field, and having several of those. But make that rapport with your receivers. Make sure you have enough confidence in the playbook and the plays being called before we can start really opening up the playbook.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Griff. All right, I think the offense has heard enough of us. Why don't we move over to defense? Defense was, I don't know, fine.
Uncharacteristic of a Joe Rossi defense.
I don't know. I think
like fine is not normally what we are accustomed to saying on this podcast at this point.
Yeah, but like nobody's perfect.
They definitely had a bad day for them.
I think it's it's the best quarterback they've seen since like C.J. Stroud. So
almost certain.
Yeah, and I think like they score touchdowns on like they had like a couple drives where they have big plays, and every big play they have, they end up like converting to points in some way or another. They had like 24 points off of big play, big drives with big plays, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why Joe Rossi is constantly like, we have to limit big plays. We cannot give up big plays. Like that's the philosophy, and you saw why.
And I think a lot of the problems, and I think you guys might have seen it too, that just the pass rush is still not there for this defense. Besides, like I think it was Kyler Ball and Danny Strigo.
I think it's been better, but they're just not finishing. Yeah. They're just not finishing.
Yeah, the pass rush is meh.
Yeah.
Or was meh that game.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then like you go look over, like I'm just gonna say it now, and there might be bad juju they maybe, but I am very worried about this season, either on both sides of the ball and on special teams, just because like I feel like injuries, especially soft tissue ones, have been piling up, especially on the defense. I remember I think I asked you guys like, hey,
I think even
Ball?
PJ said something about that.
Yeah, like I am very, very worried. Like obviously guys are getting hurt. We have a very limited depth, especially at like linebacker and in the secondary. That like as the season goes, I'm really worried. But from what we've seen, that this defense, how they played, and the younger guys, while it's like trial by fire, and yes, we gave up a lot of points this past weekend, I will say there is some positives that come out of it too, because the defense, we know Joe Ross is going to get his guys ready to go as best he can, especially with what he has. And I just thought they just got gassed in the end, because this is the type of team where the offense likes to milk the clock and let their defense takes a big rest on the sideline. So with the offense I think we lost the time possession game for sure. I think.
Yeah, but that was really only at the end. They had like a 5-minute drive at the end of the game they really scored all their points by being like super super up tempo and running a ton of plays. They ran like 70 plus plays, and
And I think it's important to note here that some of the big plays where they capitalized on it, they were catching us in transition because the Gophers like to pull people off and sub on fresh legs on defense in a way that not a lot of teams do. And Drake May was very good at taking advantage of it, of catching the defense not quite ready, and it led to some big
they
plays.
definitely saw that on film and were ready for it.
Yeah, and I think the Gophers just weren't prepared for a quarterback who, has that good of command of the offense and was that ready for the way that they approach things.
Yeah, I mean he's a really good quarterback. He's mobile. I think I didn't realize how athletic he actually was personally.
Till he was beating us.
Yeah, and I was like, oh okay, because like I'm not really watching a lot of ACC games to be honest with you. Like,
Neither do I.
so watching him, I was just like, oh okay, he's a lot bigger than I thought he would be, and like he moves a lot better. Like he for someone of his stature basically at the position. So I was impressed by Drake May. I think, like that's going to happen, and like you did. I think the problem is that like the defense kept you in this game. Like that you have these turnovers, you don't really get any points off of them. You get one that if the linebacker just doesn't fall flat on his face after catching the ball, he's probably bumping his head on the goalpost, right? Like it was just like weird moments where they just didn't take advantage of the opportunities that they got early in the game, and they got put away.
Yep.
Griff, anything on defense for you?
I mean, I think they knew kind of going into it. Just Tyler Newman, I didn't see him throw too much his way.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just good planning in terms of North Carolina's offense. But yeah, I just kind of going back to the whole defensive line being like meh. It just felt like anytime we rush four and our edge rushers get behind the quarterback, it just leaves obviously our entire defensive line susceptible to May running right through it, right? Like you saw him several times just kind of go in between the tackles and the tackles and the edge rushers, and he'd pick up 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah.
Well,
So
he can beat you going any direction too. He can beat you going at the middle. He can beat you going rolling right, rolling left.
yeah, and so
He was really good at just extending drives that like
absolutely
would die out for most teams because of that. Griffin is perfect.
Yeah. So I just think for us moving forward, when we have quarterbacks like that, I'd like to keep most of our linemen in front of the quarterback for the most part.
Yeah.
But that was just kind of my observation.
Also, can we get a holding call for Jaw Joyner, please?
Oh my God, they will not. The ACC gets their flags picked up anyway. Oh,
Jeez.
I think it is worth commending the defensive line here for the way things went in the run game for North Carolina.
Yeah.
Because the running backs were not getting much done.
No, it was. I mean, Drake May dropped back like 50 times.
Drake May dropped back a lot, and he was the guy running the football for him, and it was because they were in a pass rush, not in a not stopping the run. But when the run came up, they were ready for it, and they were, this I can't remember what the kid's name is, but he was the Doak Walker running back of the week prior, and he got bottled up for less than 50 yards.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the defense has been. I think the defense was like not the problem this game. You know what I mean? Like I think it's like
sure.
You wish you had that pick six. Yeah, you wish you limited Drake May a little more, but like you can't really ask for much more than what you got from them because they generated turnovers. They Danny Striga has a great sack on Drake May. they did their job. They kept it close for a long time, and I think
And I think
your
that's
offense
exactly
didn't do
what we
anything.
discussed last week too. Is you've got to generate a couple turnovers and handle your business, and they did it for the most, except for 3-4 big plays. They really handled their business.
Yeah, which is why, that's what Joe Rossi preaches, right? Like you see that all those drives lead to, points.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Should we touch on special teams next? Because
Go ahead.
oh my god. First off, positive. Dragon Kesich. I gotta give him some love because even though some of these offensive drives weren't turning into touchdowns, at least Dragon made all his kicks.
It is a blessing to have a reliable field or place kicker.
Oh, yeah. We were all kind of worried about what he would be at the beginning of the season, but I think he has earned everybody's trust at this point.
Yeah, he's the least of our worries, I think, right now.
Yep.
Which is, exactly what I want to see. And can I say once again, Mark Crawford averaging more than 40 yards a punt.
I know.
And he got trotted out there half a dozen times.
How much more than 40 yards a punt?
42 and a half
Okay.
on this one.
Don't care.
It's like, for a guy who was averaging like 35 these past couple of years, I think it's good to see marked improvement.
Sure. He's like my age. He should be kicking his ball a lot farther.
Oh, he's not gonna go pro by any means. He's not that kind of punter. But like, thank God we've got a guy who can actually, sometimes change field position.
Ugh.
But I don't. I might have missed it a bit during the first half, and then I lost stream. Just so you guys know, when you're trying to stream on like YouTube TV in a foreign country, then it sucks.
I can't even stream because I'm like tied to my dad's account, and I can't even stream in St. Paul.
Oh, rip. But was our return game bad? If it was bad, I was gonna say
uneventful, which fine.
2 games.
Completely empty. There was not a single return, and I think it's because every single ball was kicked into or through the end zone.
Yep.
Okay.
And then they didn't really punt that much.
Yeah, they didn't really have to.
Yeah.
I think there was one kickoff that landed on like the 1 yard line, and they still fair caught it, and I was pissed. So I'm like, just make something happen at this point. Let us cheer for something.
I think that was the last kickoff of the game too, because I remember it, and I was like, this is your chance to go be a hero. But
they had people cramping all game. PJ was like, "We're just going home."
Yeah.
That was about as upset as I've seen him in a long time, though.
No, I don't think he's happy. I don't think the football boys are enjoying this week of practice. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, especially tackling wise. It still feels like our linebackers just kind of like show up for every game covered in butter,
Yeah.
First quarter, just can't tackle anybody every game.
Hey boys, I got a hop, but summary: North Carolina game poo.
Take us to Northwestern. That's where we're going. Take us there.
All right, we're going to Northwestern. It's going to be we are returning back to Big Ten play, playing against I believe an interim coached Northwestern team. As we all know, Pat Fitzgerald got fired over the summer.
Somehow, not the most recent Big Ten scandal firing.
Yeah. Look at you, Michigan State.
Not the craziest either.
I mean, they're both I think pretty
up
bad
there.
in their own way.
Oh, they're both bad in their own way. I just think the Mel Tucker one right now is getting just beyond wild.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, because that one, all the details are being laid bare, and like it's just like
Just put out there, yeah.
Yeah. But we digress. Coming up here, I don't have much to say. They are currently 1-2. They lost 2 games. In my quick review of watching how they've been playing, I just don't know. Besides that, Northwestern isn't really a good team. Like they've been struggling on both sides of the ball. So I'm gonna get my prediction here, just because like I need a hop. If my phone let me work, I will say the Gophers win. I want to see some creativity brought back on offense. That's all I want, and we'll take the win, 24-14.
ooh, that's a lot of points for Northwestern.
That's
I know.
that's
That's
exactly
generous.
the over under, actually.
Is that a push?
I don't know. I made this
basically.
prediction before I saw the betting odds.
Nice.
Yeah, the over under is exactly 8. That would have the Gophers losing to the spread, which is 11.5, I believe.
Interesting.
So far, the Gophers have not been covering the spread, so I'm taking the 10-point victory here. But no, you guys have fun previewing Northwestern, and those watching, listening, thank you so much, and I'm going to have some more fun in Japan.
Please do.
Cool. See ya.
Oh,
All right. Well, let's get into. Sorry, my iTunes pops up here. Go away. That just really bothers me when that happens. All right. Sorry, video watchers, audio listeners, and friends. That was awful. All right. Northwestern.
decides to edit this out, then
Yeah,
whatever.
that'd be cool. We'll see. Somehow I doubt it, but okay. Northwestern's averaging 186.3 yards per game passing and 100 yards rushing on offense. So they're averaging under 300 yards of total offense, and they're giving up over 350 yards a game. So they're not good.
No, Northwestern is not doing well this season. And I think part of that comes with the territory of their head coach just got fired in a pretty major hazing scandal.
Oh yeah, and I mean I think like they're just a program that's like they're gonna have to rebuild like after this, and like it's a very weird situation, and it's already just like abysmal to go there and watch football games. It's so lame. Griff, are you going?
Not this weekend, no.
I was gonna say that'd be quite the whiplash from Chapel Hill to Evanston.
I was going to say Ryan Field is just not excellent.
I can't lie. I would definitely consider going, but I will be out of town somewhere else this weekend.
Admittedly, I think tickets are like $4 to this game. Well,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
what it
get
was
them
when I
that
went there
low.
in 2019.
Yeah.
It was like
They're-
$5 to get in.
It is not a well-loved place.
And it's not a place where you can really recruit big names either. Like,
It should be.
I'm,
It should
well,
be.
it should be.
You're
should be if
drivable to Ohio. You're drivable to, like, all these football states right there in the Midwest, Wisconsin,
Michigan,
Iowa, right?
Yeah, you got all the, big farm states where the big farm boys eat all their corn and get huge.
You got the big city there. You have, other than the stadium, you have great facilities that are brand new, but can't really recruit many people either when you have your head coach removed and fired. So,
Yep.
I mean, I've never heard of Ben Bryant before this year. I don't know much about him, but you mentioned his passing stats. That's going to play well to our defense. And I, would hope that this is a good get right game for our defense and our offense.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is a get right game kind of on all fronts for us, right? Like let's just clean it up. Let's go out here and execute and do what we need to do. Like don't be afraid to like why not just run like the same couple plays? Like if they I'm not saying like the whole game, but like if you have one play that you're like, "Oh, this worked earlier in the game for 8 yards. They're kind of giving us the same looks. Let's go back to this." You know what I mean? Like don't be afraid to do that. It feels like they're afraid of like really working anything besides the run game. Like the passing game is going to take work too, and I feel like they're just kind of like afraid to really like rep the same concepts over and over again. They're afraid to like just let the bullets fly. So, other than that, for like Northwestern on offense and our defense, I'm very interested to see if this is the game where Jaw Joyner gets home for a couple sacks again, because
If he stops getting held, maybe.
yeah, but I think they'll call it this game. I mean, it's under the lights in Evanston, so
Oh God, this is a night game.
yep,
Oh, yuck.
yep. Get ready to watch this for your Saturday night. I know I'm excited.
It's just gonna be sad, I think. And not really for us, but like a little bit for us.
I mean, I think it would feel good to like really, really, get on a roll
If we go in
here.
and torch them, I'll be happy. But like, you know,
I would
it's
like
just
to see them
not
figure
really
out the.
traditional Gophers.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think the defense is gonna be dominant. I think we're really gonna see, um, kind of what Joe Rossi wants to be on defense this year, because I have noticed a lot more like corner blitzes and stuff this year, so that's been fun. And I think this is the perfect time to like kind of start introducing that stuff, because a lot of times to me on defense it's felt that like your guys are in the right spot to make plays and just don't make the play. And I think against this team you really got to make those. You're really going to need to like you have to be making those plays against this kind of team.
Yeah.
Other than that, on defense, like I said, Northwestern is giving up like 360 plus yards of offense to the opposing team per game. So
Is that in our wheelhouse? Can we manage that?
I mean, I just hope it's not one of those games where we run the ball 50 times, you know?
It
It
might
honestly
be.
might start out that way.
I will hate that so much.
No, I think that's the right reaction. I just I don't know. I don't know what this offense is going to do this week because we haven't seen consistency.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect opportunity to try and find some, you know?
This is I think you want to go in and do this balance thing like you did in North Carolina, but like execute on it.
Yeah, just get more consistent in like your play to play, everybody doing their thing on the same page, because it just feels very disjointed right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to see them be more pass heavy in this game because I don't even think we have a game with the receiver that went over 100 yards. Um,
No,
and if I'm a wide receiver, I'm like, give me the ball. Like, we have talented receivers. Give them the ball. Let them make plays.
Northwestern is giving up like 10 yards a pass.
Perfect. Run it to the sticks.
if I'm
Run an out route.
yeah,
And the Gophers are currently negative in EPA per pass right now, by the way.
Oof. Time to get that up.
So,
But like, yeah, if I'm particularly like Daniel Jackson, I'm frustrated after North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Didn't catch a single ball. I want to get the ball. Put the ball in my hands.
yeah.
If I'm Corey Crooms, put the ball in my hands in space. Cuz he caught some balls, but he didn't get to do anything with them.
And if I'm also Corey Crooms, I say, stop putting me in motion if you're not going to use me.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And if I'm Brevin, I'm desperate to make a play.
And
Man,
Can
Can
we
you-
get
Overdue.
trying to make that catch that got intercepted, like that man wants to make an opportunity of any target that he gets.
a Brevin target in the red zone, please?
That would be so nice.
I'm sorry, the green zone. Kill me.
Just Brevin's. He's got to be frustrated.
They love using him between the 20s, but once they get inside the 20s, they just like start using him as a blocker again, and it's like
We're uncharacteristic because
just-
they loved throwing to him in the or outside the 20s.
just use him as an inline tight end there. It's just like I don't know why they refuse to do it. Match him up on a linebacker and just match him up on a corner. I don't know.
Let him do what he's best at.
Yeah, he's gonna sit in the soft spot of the zone and just let you hit him in the chest. It's gonna be nice. He'll find it for you. Just aim for the numbers.
Yeah. Well, that's the big thing is Ethan's got to hit the numbers too.
Yeah, that definitely is something to watch. Is what the accuracy is like, because I think there's plays and concepts that he throws very well. Like I think part of the reason why they call all these balls outside of the numbers is because he throws those very well, because he just wants to rip it right now. And I think hopefully we see him like just develop a little more touch,
Yeah. And I think that's the thing that Tanner did really well is he had some touch on his football.
Yeah, like the shallow crossers and stuff. You don't need to rifle it in there, stuff like that.
And like Tanner didn't have a cannon.
No.
We know Tanner didn't have a cannon. Ethan might not have a cannon either, but he does have a bullet.
We'll see, I guess. All right. Shall we get to predictions then? I mean, this game I think really just needs to be get right on both sides. Like let's be consistent. I think that's the message this week, right? Consistency.
Let's be consistent. Let's make some plays. I'd love to see some of these guys who've been struggling get involved in meaningful ways. I'd love to see something from Brevin. I'd love to see something from Justin Wally.
I think Wally's been in and out of games though with like those cramping issues.
Well, it'd be nice to see him get those cramping issues dealt with, for sure. But I don't know what that's about.
All right, well, it's the best time. It's prediction time. Everybody's got this as a W. Wyatt, what do you got?
I think it's going to be uglier than we want it to be. I'm going to go with like 20-10 for the W. I don't think we're hitting the over. I don't think we're beating the spread. It's just
What did Jason say? 24-14, something like that?
4-14. I just think there's going to be less points than that. And I'm not happy that I'm saying this. I hope the Gophers go out and hang 40 on them or 50 on them or whatever. But it's not the team that we've been this year, and I'm going to set the expectation where it is, and hopefully they surprise me by a lot.
All right. Personally, I'm going to go not the other way too much, I think, but I'm going to go that this is the get right game. This is, let's take a breath, get it together here. Let's try and be a nice, a good, fun, consistent football team. I'm going to go with 27-7, I think. I think we get run fest at the end of the game.
I think that's.
But
correct.
I think we get like 2 passing touchdowns from Ethan. And, then Darius Taylor picks up the third one in garbage time comes out. Then game's over. They kick a couple field goals, whatever. Just run the clock out. Griff, what do you think?
Well, if Northwestern put up a touchdown against Rutgers, I don't see them putting up a touchdown against us.
Do it.
So I'm going to
Go off, King.
I'm gonna go 23 for the Gophs, and we're gonna have a field goal fest in Northwestern.
Oh yeah,
So we're gonna have a nice 23-9.
love it.
And on that same line of 2 passing touchdowns, we're gonna have 2 receivers over 100 yards.
Ooh.
Want to go? You want to go any deeper? Pick 'em.
Oh, you want me to? Oh, I'll go deep, baby. We already know one's gonna be DJ.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
And, I'm waiting for that breakout game from Crooms. So I'm really hoping this is the one.
That'd be fun. Big playability.
Crooms has the big playability, but I don't think he would have been my pick.
I like it though. All right.
Yeah.
I think what more needs to be said? We're all just ready to go watch Northwestern Minnesota in prime time.
With bated breath.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be an absolute. I can't wait to spend my Saturday night doing that. So, because I know I can't not do it because I'm a sick person. So,
I hate myself for it, but I can't look away.
well, thanks everybody for listening. Special shout out to Jason for hopping in here all the way from Tokyo. That was pretty nuts.
Laurence too for showing up in the group chat last week.
Yeah, good to see you. Laurent's in the group chat. That was fun.
Law school, buddy.
I'm sorry I took such pain to get you out.
Yeah.
All right. It's been Opa Podcast. I think we're all going to be sad still until next week, hopefully.
Yeah, probably.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hope.
Peace.